You too. How everyone doing? I hope y'all doing wonderful. And watching out for your friends and family, and especially your kids, because they are most precious innocent. Well, this is about this 12-year-old girl her fought off a man who tried to kidnap her. She threw green slime in his face, and she got away and basically helped the cops catch him. She says because she used to watch Law and Order with her mother. Also, think she probably actually it helped her to be mindful of things that go around in the world. Also, while saying that, I also would like to say this to the parents, all parents. Okay, this right here is for parents. Okay, no matter how grown and how your child is good with trying to protect themselves and stuff like that, yes, it will be nice to teach them self-defense or teach them to go to karate class or something like that so they will be able to defend themselves when it comes down to it. Now, this little girl, she threw slime in his face, so that kind of probably blinded him. I hope, man, he was weird, running weird back to his car. That's just weird. But anyways, my point is this: watch out for your kids. Rather how it is, you can't keep track of them all times, but at least teach them not to be playing by a highway, road, or whatever, and always try to have them where you can see them in your visual. Because if not, it could have went way bad for this little girl, way bad, and she didn't do that to keep her. She saved herself, and she helped the cops get the fucking people, the guy that tried to kidnap her. But every year, I don't even know how many, but it's so many kids that get missing every year. It's so many kids that get missing every minute, every hour in the world. Because either they go out too far, being stubborn, don't listen to the parents, and go off in this place and that place. So it's very important for you to know where your kid is, know who the parent house they're hanging out, because also look at the little boy, he was over at a friend's house and he got set on fire. Another one, lady left her child at a thing trying to so she could teach her son how to swim. He drowns in it while he was with some other adults. Sometimes people you still cannot trust them around your kid. Another woman, she went somewhere on a vacation or something, left her kid with two of her friends, and then when she comes back, she find out her daughter is dead. And she get put on charges too. But I think that part there was kind of messed up. Because if she trusted the people to leave her child with them and they got hurt or end up dead, shouldn't that should be left on the people that actually harmed the child? That right there, that I know what I need to find that story so I can post that. But main point is this: you gotta watch out for your kids because every year and stuff like that, kids get kidnapped and they traffic them or do even worse things to them. So you gotta watch out for them, because they're your kids, because you love them.
An 11-year-old Florida girl who fought back during an attempted kidnapping earlier this week said she smeared some blue slime she was playing with on the perp so that officers could find them easily. In an interview from earlier today, she told NBC that her quick thinking was inspired by watching Law and Order with her mom. Home surveillance footage shows the man trying to carry her to his car before running off without her. The footage, along with her own detective work, helped to lead to the suspect's arrest. What a genius. Now, Holloway, Kaylee Anthony, and Elizabeth Smart. Their disappearances made national news and they became household names. Here's another name, Akia.
Investigation published data illustrating that there were 421,394 open reports of missing children in the United States. Canada had 40,425 missing children, and it's estimated that 80,000 children go missing in the United Kingdom annually. 25,000 young people are reported missing in Australia each year, and it's estimated that a child goes missing every 5 hours in South Africa. This is the disturbing reality of the world we live in today. While the numbers are simply horrifying, it is important to note that the majority of these children that are reported missing are returned home safely. However, there are some children that sadly never make it home, and frankly, even one missing child is simply one too many. We certainly don't want to live in fear, nor do we want to allow our children to live in a constant state of anxiety and distress. However, your children do need to understand the dangers that exist. A kidnapping attempt can happen anywhere at any time, not just at the shopping mall or parks, but entering or leaving school, waiting at a traffic light, or going to a public toilet, just to name a few examples. So what are some practical steps you can take to reduce the chances of your child becoming an abduction victim? Number 1. Set clear expectations and ground rules. Tell your child explicitly that you would never send a person that they didn't know to pick them up. They should always stick to streets they know, and should never take alternate routes or shortcuts through quiet areas or empty parking lots. Always walk places that are well lit and populated with houses and other people. When being picked up from school, they should never leave the school grounds, and should wait inside the gates for their lift to arrive. At all times, they should remain alert of their surroundings, and have their wits about them for their own safety. This means not always wearing headphones or having their eyes glued to a phone or device. Number 2. Instill a healthy sense of skepticism of people in your child. Remind your child that they must never get into a stranger's car, or even walk anywhere with a stranger. No matter what they tell them, who they claim to be, or how friendly they appear. Some predators will even lure a child with the promises of something fun, such as playing with puppies or going to a theme park or candy. Alternatively, they may prey upon their good nature and ask the child to help them find their kitten and so on. Perhaps they may claim that mom or dad have been hurt and they've been sent to pick them up. They should also be cautious of anyone who tries to offer them a job or modeling contract and so on. If something sounds too good to be true, then it probably is. People will never freely offer amazing opportunities to some random person on the street. We teach our children to respect their elders and authority, however, remind them to always trust their own intuition. If a situation, request, or interaction doesn't feel right, there's no need to be polite. Number 3. Set up a password system. Agree upon a family password that only you and your child knows. In the unlikely event that you may ask another adult to collect your child on your behalf, before they get into a car or walk away with the adult, they must ask for the password from the adult before they go anywhere. This system will be in place for everyone, even people they know and love. Once the password has been used, then it must be changed. If your child has a cell phone, they should always call you immediately if plans change or if a situation starts to feel uncomfortable. If the adult stranger tries to discourage them from calling you, teach your children that this is a massive red flag, and they should seek safety with friends, family, or an adult they trust immediately. Number 4. Preparation is key. As everyone knows, when panic and fear sets in, your brain struggles to think clearly. If they identify a potential threat, then tell them specifically what they should do in those situations. If someone tries to grab them or force them into a car, they must always fight back, make a scene, run away, kick, punch, and shout as loud as they can. When approached by a stranger, they should always take a step back and ensure the stranger does not enter their personal space at any given time. If someone tries to approach or lure them somewhere, they should always decline and promptly leave the situation. This indicates to the would-be predator that they're not an easy target. Teach your child to be aware of identifying features of people that seem suspicious or threatening. They should always be taking a mental note of a person's height, build, clothing, and any distinguishing features. If they're driving, teach your children to memorize the make, model, license plate, and color of their car, just in case. Get your child to memorize personal details, including their full name, home address, and home phone number, as well as emergency numbers. If your child has a phone, then ensure they have some emergency numbers saved in their contact list. Always have a backup plan.
To you, would you really ask an unfamiliar 5-year-old to help you? Something is telling me you wouldn't. Another adult can hold the door for you when you're holding more heavy bags than you can handle. And when your dog or cat gets lost, you will more likely spread the word or ask special volunteer groups to find it, not take a little girl out of a sandbox and invite her to search the basements with you. If you happen to witness an adult sharing his or her problems with kids, it could be a good idea to jump into that conversation and confront the abductor. Ask him or her what is wrong and could you possibly help out? This should scare the abductor. 13. Crying kid. Now, if you see a kid crying, screaming, and trying to escape, pulling out his hand, you might think that he is just being naughty and does not want to obey his mom or dad. We've all been there, right? However, if you feel like things have gone too wild and the hysterics is more than a regular grumpy attack, it won't hurt to check on them. Ask the kid and the accompanying adult if everything is all right and how they are all related. If it turns out to be a false alarm, the parent will most likely thank you for caring and explain it was a really bad day. If it's really the abductor that is taking away the kid, he or she will stumble and most likely reconsider doing the evil act. You most likely remembered what the villain looks like, so what's the point of taking the kid away when you were all ready to give this information to the police? Number 12. Playground observers. Where do childless adults spend their free time? Concert halls, stadiums, museums, bars. Somehow, the playground is not on the list. If you spot a suspicious adult watching kids go up and down the slides or building sandcastles, let them know that you know. Take a picture of that stranger. The abductor will most likely get scared and flee. Number 11. Free stuff. Admit it, we all love free stuff. We buy 2 shampoos to get the 3rd one for free and collect stickers to exchange them for a Darth Vader mask. Hit like if you do that. As adults, we learn to accept that nothing is actually free. So the enthusiasm fades a bit, and we ask the question of why. Why would someone give me anything for free? Kids are very kind and trustful. When offered candy, toys, or cool gadgets like smartphones and tablets, they will follow the kind stranger anywhere. Some abductors will let a kid play a demo game to invite them into the car later to continue. You can stop that from happening. Remember that no normal adult will offer gifts to unfamiliar kids in the playground or backyard, or invite them to the parking lot. According to the National Center for Exploited Children statistics, 12% of all abductors use candy or sweets as a lure. Number 10. Puppy's trick. Trick as old as time, true as it can be. Puppies are so adorable, they make us forget about whatever we actually started browsing the internet for. Those big eyes and wagging tails. Now, imagine what it does to the minds of kids. When they see a little dog and get an invitation to play with it privately, they will most likely say, "Yes, please." 7% of abductors use this trick. So next time you see a lonely adult demonstrating a puppy at a playground, you know what that means. 9.
Well, I like to say my girls love the outside. They love the park. When we first started going to the park, because they did not want to leave, it was like almost night. I think it was like 7, it was like around the summertime, and it was like, well, it was starting to get dark, well, like when the sun was starting to go down, close to it. So it was about time to go, so we're taking them, and they start cutting the food. I mean, really cutting, screaming and stuff like that, and what stopped them from doing all that? I had to threaten them with telling them, if they don't start acting the fool and screaming like they don't got no sense, that they will never go back to the park ever again. And so other times when I took them to the park, I tell them, if you act up, or when we about to leave, if you cut up, start screaming and all that, you will not come back. And I said, you understand? Yes, mommy. And then I said, okay, so remember, when it's time to go, no screaming or none of that. After that, I really didn't have any more problems with them acting a fool when we were leaving the park.